So what is this whole thing? A lot of this life is what I like to call dimension hopping. You see, when you think that every possible choice and every possibility is available to you at every second, you are at the crux. You're at the middle, the center of this. Okay, it's all depending on the decisions that you make. So your very life now is literally a culmination of every choice that you've ever made. Okay, it all adds up to this. So what the magician aspires to do is to navigate to the expected outcome, to the desired reality. You know, you want the reality where you've got a certain amount of passive income, where you've got a certain lover or lovers. You want the reality where you can work on whatever passion that your heart desires, whatever project you're working on. You know, you want to make an impact on the world in whatever way. You hold that reality firmly. I mean, one of the best ways to do it is to compartmentalize each facet of the life you want, build a sigil for it, work a ritual for it, and, you know, cast it away to the subconscious mind. And using the proper techniques, the proper meditations, the proper spirits, you can navigate your reality to line up with the reality that you want. You get each facet working properly. From the home that you want, to the partner or partners that you want, to the career that you want, the education, the goals and achievements you want. You get all these things piece by piece. You set a different spirit after it. You do a different meditation for it. You know, whatever it takes to line up your reality with the desired reality. And this is very possible, but as Bobby Hemmett put it once, they're able to put all these magic books out because the current has changed. Okay, a lot of those things that you read don't work anymore. With the fancy, deep rituals where you have to get a certain color robe when you're working with a certain energy, and you know, all these magical weapons and all this stuff, you know, that costs so much money and takes so much time. More importantly, so much time and so much memorization. By the time you've got this thing all down, you know, your desires have changed, the current has changed, you know, something has changed. Right now it's all about will. It's all about mental focus. It's all about directing your consciousness and your perspective to the reality that you desire. Now it's more about chaos magic than anything else. It's not about being in a particular system. You don't have to join a certain group or follow a certain leader. No, you take what works. You implement what works. You test everything, and you keep going with what sticks. As the old axiom says in chaos magic, nothing is true, everything is permitted. That's exactly what that means. You don't have to follow anybody or stick to any tradition. You do what works. You take a little bit of voodoo, you take a little bit of Celtic magic, you take a little bit of Necronomicon, a little bit of Goetia, Solomonic magic. You know, you take a little bit of Christianity, you take a little bit of everything that actually works. You know? There's still things that I pray to Jesus for. There's things that I use angels for. There's things that I use Satan and Lucifer for. There's things I use the Goetia for. I use the Necronomicon. I use things from the Golden Dawn. I use a lot of things from the Clip-Off. I mean, it doesn't matter as long as it works. I use stuff from the Native American traditions. You know, things from voodoo, Hodun. You use what works. I use imaginations from my childhood that used to work. You know, just the key of this all is like it says in the Kabbalion. The mind is all, the universe is mental. You know, if it works in your mind, it works, period. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to break it down. You don't need to think extra hard about it. If it fucking works, you do it. Because the conscious mind, it gets in the way. And it demands an explanation. It demands it to be categorized and defined. Okay? The subconscious mind, if you can convince your subconscious mind that it exists, that it's real, that it's true, that it's possible, that's all you need. That's all you need. If you tell your subconscious mind that I'm going to pray to Jesus and he's going to do it, then by golly, you got it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in the entity that you're praying for. It doesn't matter that it's real, that you've never seen it or you have seen it. What matters is that you know in your heart it's going to work. I'm telling you, it's that simple. You know, you don't have to believe in the devil. But if it gives you that that emotional charge, if it can convince your subconscious mind that it's going to work, then you do it. You know? If your intuition's telling you that you need 3 candles and you need to walk Deosil in a circle and you need, this herb and this, that, and the third, if you're making this ritual up as you go, listen to your intuition. Your subconscious mind will tell you what it wants. It's like dealing with a woman. You listen to how her body responds to your caress. You follow what is being, you go with the flow, essentially. You move with the flow. Because if you move counter to the flow, you get the backlash of that same energy flow. So you move with it. You listen. You pay attention. You pay attention. You follow. It's 10:55 on Halloween. And I have been in meditation for about 45 minutes. But it's neither here nor there. It wasn't really directed. There was no sigil, no true intent other than harnessing the energy that's in the sky right now, in the air, close to Earth right now. It's Sam Hain. We're at a crossroads. A lot of spirits are out and about right now. Literally right now. I sense a certain presence in the corner here. Told me that he was a legba. Whatever. Welcome. I poured libations. But yeah, man, it's very important to use those extra senses that you've got. Remember, we talked before about the extra senses. Not just relying on your 5 senses, because those are attached to the illusionary world. All that you see, hear, taste, and touch, and smell. These things are produced from illusion. Okay? Those extra senses that you don't have such a good handle on, those are still connected to the reality that everything comes from. So you pay attention to those, and you follow what you're receiving. You trust your intuition. You trust yourself. You trust your true self, because those are the senses of your true self. And you follow along with what it's trying to guide you. You trust it, man. You trust your divinity. Every choice you make is divine. Everything you do is divine, because it leads you to an expected outcome. And if you're making it up as you go along, it's still divine, because it's still going to get you where you need to go. You simply seek and search. You set your intent to know, not for any specific thing, not to pay the bills and to get a better job. You set out and seek to know, to master the knowledge, to gain wisdom, and everything else will be provided to you. This is the mystery school of right now. You seek and you will receive. Knock and you shall receive. Knock, the door will be open. Seek and you find, baby. It really is that simple. Let me check my note right here, because there's some. Check my note here, because there's another thing that we've been thinking about here. Yeah, I had to let you see the home screen, you know. What's your fucking name? Okay. So yeah. One thing I was thinking about today is that your divinity is not based on your actions. Divinity is not what you do, but it's who you are. Okay, reality is long-suffering. Reality bends over backwards to make your choices divine. It all adjusts according to your choices. Okay, so, you know, when I say that everything that I do is divine, and that I'm divine, and that you're divine, it's not, you know, based on what you might think from what you knew in the past, like, oh, gods and spirits are divine and they're perfect and they're created perfect. Nothing is created perfect, because perfect is dead. Okay, perfect is finished. It's completed. Okay. Your divinity, it's not what you do, but it's who you are. You are the divine being. You are the living God. Therefore, reality conforms to what you do. It conforms to your choices. It literally bends over backwards to make what you have done and what you do and what you say, it bends over backwards to make those things perfect. You see what I'm saying? Reality is long-suffering. The Bible tells you that God is long-suffering. What does that mean? That means that it'll take what you give it and turn it into gold. Turn it into treasure. It'll take your shit and transform it into diamonds. Reality adjusts itself. It adjusts itself to you because you're the living God. As long as, now we're talking about a mind who has disbanded, you know, all the crap that you've been taught as a child, and a mind who has realized its own divinity and its own godhood. We're talking about that mind, the mind of a magician. Yes, in that case, reality begins to conform and work with you. Okay, it begins to take everything that you do and make it work. That's our mantra, you know. That's what I repeat to myself and to those close to me. You know, when we start to worry or fear, we always have to remind the other, everything's gonna work out the way that it's supposed to. Every time, it never fails. You know, we're never left begging for this or that. We're never left without, can't do this. You know, when we think we don't have enough, we get it from somewhere, whether it's another person, whether it just comes out of the blue. The whole thing is, I like to tell myself that to worry is like a slap in the face to the spirits and to my own power. To worry and to fear, that's like a slap in the face. Because if I truly believed in my magic and my divinity, I wouldn't have any room to worry. I would just know that it's going to come when it's supposed to come. And it does. It always takes care of itself. Because look, what do you have to lose? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the money to pay the bill, what good is it gonna do for you to sit there and be upset and worried and sad and angry, and you still don't have the money, when you could just trust and have faith that it's going to work, that the magic that you did is gonna go through, you know what I'm saying? And you just have that confidence about you. And believe it or not, that simple confidence is a magnet, and one way or another, it's gonna come to you. It always happens. It always happens. It's not any choice against it. As long as you have the confidence in your work and that positive mindset, and you just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, what you're doing is you're convincing your subconscious mind that this is true. And the subconscious mind has to obey. The subconscious mind is the producer of your reality. The subconscious mind is the creator. Every step of the way as you go, the subconscious mind is creating. It's like you're walking along this path that's not fully formed, and before you even put your foot down on that next step, your subconscious mind has built the bricks, right? So you land that step and you make that next step, and before that foot even goes down, boom, the path is created. That's what this life is like. That's what this world is like. You are creating every second. There's a symbiotic relationship between the observer and the observed. It's all the same entity, and you're not the one that you think you are. You are actually the observed. You're staring back at yourself. You know, it's really crazy how this works out. Every person is a different facet of you, believe it or not. That's why it's very important to treat others how you wish to be treated, because you're only dealing with yourself. Every spirit and every energy, it's all different layers of yourself. You know, when you talk about the 7 bodies of man, it's all just different layers, and the higher up you go, the more unified it gets. It's just levels to it, man. It's just levels to this thing. Levels and layers. But it's all emanating from the same source. Like when you look at the tree of life, you know, you go from the unknowable, right, and as it filters down and breaks down, it becomes more separated, more categorized, more dense, more physical. At the very bottom, it's physical. The physical plane. Some say it's the shit of existence, right? And there's others who believe that this is the unexplored territory, that this is the what do you call it? The final frontier, right? The physical world. And it is here for us, the magicians, to transform this place into our kingdom, right? The kingdom of God, of the living God. And you know, it's whatever you believe, you know, whatever you want to believe. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to believe. Your reality is yours and mine is mine. You know, they connect in certain ways. I can touch you through this video, but ultimately, your perspective is your own, and your whole world is built by your own thoughts. What you've convinced your subconscious mind to think that is. So it's crazy, you know. You really have to rely on your own knowledge and confidence, right? If you're waiting for somebody else to define your world for you, you can be let down. You really have to trust yourself, and you really have to command and call forth into existence that which you desire. You know, it's like you know, again, with say a lover, you might be doing all these things, and if you never get a response of how they react to it, you might be thinking the worst. Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not performing properly, etc., etc. But come to find out, they love everything you do, they're just too stubborn to admit it. So again, instead of worrying and fretting about something you can't really know, why not just believe, well, fuck, I'm the best, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the greatest, I'm doing the most, right? And if you think that way, you're going to perform that way, right? And so now when you actually find out that, yeah, reality is conformed to what you've been thinking all along, you know, how much more is that going to add to your confidence, right? Whereas if you're thinking that you're inadequate, sometimes that can change the whole recipe. You know, that can change the whole recipe. So it's more than just having a positive mindset. This mindset, this perspective, has a direct relation to what's actually going on. See, I don't have room for depression and sadness anymore, because I have seen that directly affects my reality. You know, I've seen people who are just kind of winging it, you know, going through life, and you know, the minute they start getting depressed and feeling down, boom, they get arrested, you know, they get into an accident, something bad happens. And seeing that enough times has made me, you know, seeing a buddy of mine go to jail immediately after depressing Facebook posts and just, you know, sad this and that and third, I realized, you know what, I don't have time for that shit anymore. I don't have time for it. I need to focus all my energy on constructing my reality into that which I desire. And the minute I do start to let depression creep in, I see stuff start to fall apart. So for those of you who are struggling with and battling with it, you know, depression and sadness and negative outlook, I know it's easier said than done. But if you can find a way to get out of that and trust yourself, it's a process. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to work up into the state where you are thinking positively. Just trust it, man. Trust it. You're not receiving this message if you're not ready for it. You're not hearing these words come out of my mouth if you don't believe this to be true in the first place. Because like I said, we're just looking at a reflection of ourselves. You already know this information. You just have to trust yourself. So that's the message for today. Trust yourself, have confidence in yourself. You are divine, and reality bends over backwards to make this true. You see what I'm saying? This world is for you. This world was created for you. This reality is for you. So why are you getting your ass kicked at that 9 to 5? Why are you letting your mate treat you like shit? Why are you letting your family treat you like shit?